Hello, what's up? Let's get ready for the day 4 of the boot camp. Are you excited? Hi guys, say hi in the chat. It's lovely to have you. And today we are on day 4th and we are going to learn about HTML and CSS. Today it's time for CSS. So I told you before, CSS was something of styling. So style is an important thing, and you know that without style, things can't just happen, right? If they just can't happen without style. You need style in everything. So people thought, let's have a style of the websites we are giving in. So do you know the story behind CSS? There is a very good story behind CSS that CSS was never meant to happen in the first place. CSS was never there. Nobody was like there was uh, no idea behind CSS being started, and then boom, after a few years we have such a beautiful framework which is for CSS, which is with us. This is only because of the styling problem which we had. Just imagine there was no paint in the world. Imagine that. Does it sound good if there was no paint in the world? So what do you think? How the world would look like if there is no paint or anything? So what do you think? Um, One of my friends has already shared. Thank you so much, Chirandan, for sharing the link. You have been a charm. So boom, boom. More HTML. I see there are a lot of colorless. Yeah, colorless हो जाता यार. Everything would have been colorless. Have been so boring, right? Just imagine a world without colors, or just imagine how would it look for people who are like there is a very specific word without paint, waste. So Ashwin is like, yeah, it's waste. Yeah, it would be. Do you know cows? Do you know cows? They only see in black and white. Do you know that? So such sadness for them. So they see a specific color, which is most of like it's very grayscale. Whatever they see, it's more of gray over anything. So that is with the cows. I was going through your homework. Many of you have done the homework, but whenever you're giving me the HTML file, to the few people who have missed their names in the HTML file, you had to put the names in the comment section of the HTML file. Then only I can actually see that you have done the homework. That was a bit of a small requirement, but it doesn't mean so. This goes on. Let me share my screen. Are you doing good today, guys? How are you doing today? I wanted to ask that. Good. Are you feeling good? Because this is the solution, the solution of the code I have given, that Bonnie, if we really wanted the Bonnie to happen, how did we have to write it? We had to write the pre-text. The solution was the pre-element. This was the element of surprise, where if you are writing a pre-formatted text, you use the pretext. Some of you, my sweet little kids, have just written things which is like they have given the BR. Some of people have uses the pre-format, but the real answer was that you had to use the pre-formatted text. So whenever you see something and you're like, okay, this looks cool, so what you have to do is just research upon more. And as I have said before, I think I have said before. Did I lose you guys? Okay, for a second, my screen just went blank. I'm here. I'm here. Don't you worry. I'm here, guys. So Bible, we open the Bible and we see and we look for that specific problem or the specific reference we are going through. So for example, if I tell you anything, all you need to do is just open this HTML page, and then you have to search for that specific thing. Now, as a developer, for if you have to be a developer, you have to be good at finding things out like this. You should know how to Google. That is a very important skill that nobody teaches. Everybody's like, teach by this book, go through this, take this boot camp, do this course. But you should really know how to Google, and you should really know how to use Stack Overflow. In HTML and CSS, you're not using Stack Overflow, but whenever you are developing something, you need to know how to use Stack Overflow. These are the top. So you need to know two things: GitHub and Stack Overflow on the go. So it's something you should really need to have, and we are going to discuss the advanced bootcamp too. So right now I'm teaching you very basics, and after that we are going to move to advanced. Okay. So the solution was the pre-element. All you needed to do is add the pre-element to this particular thing. Let me use the magnifier. Okay, so the moment you are using this pre-element, it is making the text go in a pre-formatted section, which is basically you are pre-formatting the text in a manner in which it would be visible, in which it will be reflected in a way that how generally text is subdivided. So you have to focus on the dynamics of text over there. So if you know what, there is a job called UI and UX engineering. This comes under UI UX engineering. This very specific thing comes under UI UX engineering. And to those people who have used this pre-text, thank you. You have my respect. For those who have not, this is this is the solution for it. Okay, so this thing is the solution for it. If you didn't know, I hope this was easy to find out. Many people did find out. Now we are going to move to the next part. Next part is is a famous part: how to format elements. And this is something very important, because sometimes I write to my friends, I write to my people, and something I really need to focus upon, I say in WhatsApp, so in WhatsApp you have to add a section. You have to add an asterisk sign, then an asterisk sign, it goes to bold. Remember, whenever we used to add an asterisk sign, it goes to bold. Whenever we need, let me do it in front of you, let me do it in the group which we have. Let me show you how to do it in the group. Don't see my playlist, it's awful. So people are like always asking me question. So whenever I needed to bold things out, all I need to do was just use this asterisk and then bold. Done. And then, for example, if I had to delete something, that was del, right? I use this particular signal. I'm using this in the group, right? As you can see, I just use this in the group. What do you think is behind this? What do you think? What kind of code is behind this? If you are able to see the group right now, that what do you think? Kya ho raha hai? What is happening here right now? Over here, where are we? So those are some tags which are already being used. For example, for bold text, we are using this specific tag. For strong text, we are using this specific tag. So there is specific tag for everything. For example, if you need to italicize the text, there is a specific tag. If you have to emphasize, if you have to mark, if you have to make it smaller, if you have to delete, insert, subscript and superscript. Subscript and superscript is something which is used generally in mathematical terms, or when we have to write H2O. So remember, subscript and superscript, a square plus b square, right? Plus 2ab. Remember, 10th, 11th, bad days. What was happening in that? You remember? We were using that particular script, and whenever we were using, yeah. So whenever we were using it, let me use it in front of you and let me show you. For example, the HTML and the HTML strong. Okay. So for example, if I had to use this particular B and bold and strong elements, what do you think I really need to do? Let me create some space. So as always, as you can see, for example, if I have to make this text bold, all I need to do is just start with the tag, give the end of the tag, and for example, if I need to make this text strong, what I really need to do, let me remove some of the stuff which is not we are using it today. Okay, so let me remove that from here. Let me just our personal dump. Yeah. So did you see over here? Is it complete? Yes. Let's save this and let's see that this is bold. We are using the bold tag over here, and after that we are using the strong tag over there here. Okay. Now let us get more things in our file, and let us see what happens with every tag what we are going to use. Now there is one more thing. Like if I said if we can bold the text, we can make the text strong. We can make the text small itself, and we can italicize the text as well. So there are two things you can actually do. So remember, first we where is that slide? Where is that slide? Slide ही बनाना भूल गया क्या? So there is strong, and then the next thing is the italic and the emphasize tag. Okay, so let me just put it down for you. This is something which is an italic tag. And this is something which is an emphasis tag. Okay. So this is how the text is going to look like. Just let me save this and let me show you. So let me do all the tags at once, because I don't want to go back and I don't want to edit and come back, because you will be able to see every tag what is happening on the go. And for HTML, you can use multiple things if you have to test your HTML. You know, there is a service which is very famous, a startup made in India, that is just used to connect your specific API services, if you know about Postman. So it's something which just gives you an HTML code on the fly to text whether your backend is working or not. So there are things like that, and it tests it in real time. And IntelliJ is kind of doing the same thing with their with their code editor, and they have done a commendable work, I must tell you. So there is one more option to make the element small. Okay, so there is one more option to make the element small, and that is actually small itself. So HTML is a language which is very, it's like speaking English to the browser. It's like telling the browser, okay man, make this small. The way we are doing it on WhatsApp, it's very similar that how we are going to do this over it. For example, if I need to mark it, if I need to mark something, what do you think I need to do? What do you think I need to do? For example, if I need to mark a specific text, like, or my mom always marks something. So, beta, if you're going to the supermarket, get the milk. And she bolds the milk because she knows her son is so dumb that he's going to get something else. So she just marks that specific text, makes it bold, or makes it emphasized, or makes it more relevant in the complete text, that I'm able to see that. Okay. So whenever you are doing that, just all you need. Okay, बहुत ही अच्छा, बहुत ही बढ़िया. Okay, so till here we are done. What have we done till here? We have done bold, we have done strong, we have done italic, we have done emphasized, we have done small, we have done mark. Okay, now let me do few more things. This is small. After that we have mark. After mark we have del. So for example, just I did on the same WhatsApp group, I deleted a text. I striped through that complete text. How do you do that on an HTML file? See, a language is basically speaking to something, telling that particular browser or telling that script that, okay, you have to do this. Simple as that. And you have to just find ways to speak to it. Today, if you are fluent in Hindi, if you are fluent in English, if you are fluent in Punjabi, if you are fluent in Tamil, if you are fluent in Telugu, you know how to play with words. You can switch from मैं अभी हिंदी में बोल रहा हूँ, then I just go to English. I just switch from one language to another. So if you understand the concept of language, it's so easy for you to switch. Similarly, when you're learning something, it gets easier for you to switch. If, for example, today you're doing HTML CSS, then you'll do Bootstrap, then you'll do JS, then you'll learn React, and it gets on and on. It's that easy. Okay, so you think that HTML has this specific thing to do? The thing goes on and on in JavaScript too. I am going to teach you JavaScript very soon. So after this, we have JavaScript with us. We are going to take over JavaScript and we are going to use this. Okay, so how do you think we are going to delete something? Do you have something in mind that how do you think we are going to delete something? Do you know how we are going to delete something? Something in mind? And it is very common though. Why has mark? Okay, I myself wrote the. Yeah, nobody told me. Has anybody told me in? Hey man, be active. Achha, I guess you are not able to see the code properly. Let me just go by the book. Now we have just given the style background. So if we have to bold the text, what we have to use? B. If we have to make it strong, we have to use the strong. If for italic, it's I. For emphasize, it's EM. For small, it's small. For mark, for that specific code, you have to write mark and you have to add the tag. Then, for example, if you have to delete something, all you need to write is do del, DEL, delete. So if you have seen Death Note, so yeah. So if Light was using an HTML file to actually delete people, all he needed to do is write to delete. All he needed to write this delete and the name of the person he wants out of this world. So if you have watched Death Note, it's a famous series. I would recommend it watching 100%. So the next thing, if we have deleted, now if we have to insert something, do we have something in mind for insert? Do you think it's going to be something different? No, it's not going to be something different because this is HTML. It is what it is. All you need to do is just write the thing. Okay. I have so much anger on my PC. Okay, I just pasted the right code. So whenever we are inserting something, whenever we are focusing on inserting something, what do we really have to do? It's delete minus blue insert red insert. Areha. Till then, just tell me what is the best time for you to come in the bootcamp. What do you think is the best time that is the best for you? You can come to attend the bootcamp because some of you have messaged me saying that this is our dinner time. We generally go for dinner. So just tell me the time, and I would take for example, if I'm going to take JS classes, I'm going to take in that specific time. And tell me what time you're very comfortable with, and I am going to tell you at that time. Okay, and this is something you can just grab your food and just watch me, and just leave Netflix and Prime Video for few days, and let's learn something, right? I can't leave them. So you know, my favorite color is del. We are deleting it. Insert. We are inserting red. Okay. So now only two tags are left, and that is sub. And what are those? Okay, we have two body. So what are those? What are those? So there is subscript, and then there is superscript. Okay, two kinds of code, and that code is very similar to each other. The only change in that code is one word. We took B and we made it like this. Yeah, sub to sub. So this is this is like speaking to the PC, and let's see how it turns out. It's day 2 HTML, right? Yoo-hoo! Did you see that? 8 might be good, although I don't mind 9. The text is bold. The text is important. The text is italic. The text is emphasized. This text is some smaller text. So, guys, let me put them side by side. Hey, hey. The text is bold. The text is bold. The text is important. The same thing. The text is italic. The text is italic. The text is emphasized. This is some smaller text. And don't forget to buy milk. Don't forget to buy milk. Mama has just made it more emphasized. Then my favorite color is blue. This is del red. Yeah. So this was only del. My favorite color is red. Okay, we have just inserted this, so you can see that there is a underline between red, that what has been added. This is a subscripted and this is superscripted. Subscripted is H2O, superscripted is A square plus B square. So now do you know how to add text? I guess you know now, right? So somebody tells you that, hey, you have to add all this in the text and you have to show me. Like you can do it in just 15-20 seconds, not more than that. Not more than that, right? How much time would it take? Or would it take more time? What do you think? Would it take more time, or you'll be done in 15-20 seconds? Huh? What do you think, guys? Think of it. Now, insert sub. Okay. Now, how to make a list? How to make a list? What do you think? And how to make two types of list? The first type of list is we call it the li. There is a li tag in which we specifically add li 1. I'll zoom it. Chill. Oh. Press. I'm just kidding. So this is how you make a list on an HTML file. Simple as that. There is not much to think. This is how you are making a list. This is how easy it is to make a list on an HTML file. Though we have a very special kind of thing, and that is the type of list change depending on the tag you use. With your tag, you can create bulleted lists. So if you want those lists to be in bulleted list, this is your homework. You have to create this in bulleted list. Okay. I guess everybody knows about indentation. And please make sure whenever you're nesting something or whenever there is a specific code you need to indent, all you need to do is just press the tab, and then you're going to indent it in a way that it encloses the complete tag, and you're able to see that what is the actual problem in that particular tag. So indentation is something which is a good practice for code. So in Python, indentation is like God, like you have to indent it. But whenever I am speaking of HTML, whenever I'm speaking of nesting it, always indent things. Just don't leave out things like that. Okay, because it's important for us. In terms of whenever we are reviewing code or whenever we are seeing other people's code, we need to use this kind of indentation. For example, if I have to see what is in my body, it's easier and it's more viable to see like this, right? If you agree with me. So moving on to the next part. Let me touch that part. So what do you think is next? What is next? It's 9:27. ओए इतनी जल्दी समय निकल गया, पता ही नहीं चला. What is CSS? So we all know about NSS, but this time it's for CSS. CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets, and it's basically how things are displayed anywhere on screen, paper, other media, and CSS is saving you a lot of work. It can control the layout of multiple web pages all at once. External style sheets are stored in CSS files. Just remember this. Because we are coming to a very great story about CSS. Okay, so CSS is used to define styles for your web page, including the design. Let me use that. Let me use that option. Okay, so am I visible more directly? Is my screen visible, or it's something I am reading it out? तो इतनी कोई बहुत जरूरत भी नहीं है. So I will read it out for you. CSS is used to define the styles of your web page. It's basically how your web page looks. It's like how I am looking right now, which is defined by me. That is bad. So and including the design, layout, variations, and display of for different devices and screen sizes. Okay. So for example, if you would have been watching this on the phone, so on phone I would look like this. Hey, I'm small, and I would in laptop I am a bit bigger. So the resolution is changing, and in today's world we have multiple resolutions and multiple things out there. And whenever we need to see that, whenever you need CSS and you need a different kind of styling, that should happen on your specific web page. That was not before. If you remember, just use your phone, and so there is an option of Chrome, right? There is an option of Chrome, and whenever you have Google something, and on that just click on desktop site. Okay, so it would look like this. Is it visible? Right? What is happening? Think of what is happening. Whenever you're clicking on desktop site, how the page is being rendered and how the page is being changed and transformed into a desktop version on your mobile version. Think of it. Coming back to the story, CSS solved a very big problem. Way back, if we go way back, So HTML was never intended to contain tags for formatting a web page. See, people who made this, why I am wearing this? Yeah. So people who made this, or people who were in the idea of creating this, should I use a magnifier or should I go? Let me go back to that. So CSS was solving a big problem. HTML was never intended to contain a tag for formatting a web page. HTML was created to describe the content. It was all it only describes the concept. Yaha eat hogi. There is going to be brick over here, and we are going to put a brick over there. So when tags like font and color attributes were added to HTML 3.2, it started a nightmare for developers. Development of large websites where fonts and color information were added to single page became very long and expensive process. Money for developers, but very expensive for the companies. To solve this problem, the great worldwide consortium W3C created CSS to remove the style formatting from the HTML page. So people who were asking yesterday, can we add multiple styles on the same thing? Yes, you can always do that, but it is going to make the code very long. And nobody wants to see a very long HTML code. No one. Moving on to the next part. CSS saves a lot of work. Yeah, it does. The style definitions are normally saved in .css file. So if you go somewhere and let me see if I have a project with me. If I have a running, I can't show you very specific project, but let me show you a project which is let me show you a running project. Let me show you a pet project I made like as for fun, and my system always acting on time. And this project contains PR. Okay. Okay. Let me share my screen. So, as you can see, as you can see over here, this is how my app's CSS on the client side looks like. This is a running project. This is how generally CSS file goes, and this is how much long the CSS files are. And this is how you generally do it. So for example, if you have a large code with you, okay, so for example, let me magnify this and show it to you how it is actually working. So this is going to be good for you. Okay, so for example, I have one folder on it which is saved in my local storage and which is focusing upon different type of web pages, different types of sites, and with different types of. Let me show you how many files does it take, how many CSS code I had to write to make sure that this complete thing is styled and this complete thing looks good. Okay, so for example, in a complete I'm just showing you where it is fetching things from, and I'm just showing you. Okay, so there is something called SAS as well. You will learn about this framework in some time, and you will learn about this framework when you would be designing particular apps or when you would be designing web apps. Okay, so why I am telling you this, because this is something important whenever you are creating a final project or whenever you are creating a final thing. The color indentation, the color specifics, just don't get endraggled by it. Okay, this is something which can anybody can do it, and it is so easy to do it, and it is so easy to generate. You don't have to write this complete code. First of all, know that you don't have to write this complete code. This complete code, something is which can be boilerplated. So this complete code what we have written, so this is still in production. I am working on it. This is still in production, but as you can see that this is how much a CSS file is important, and this is how you can actually make out the complete CSS file, and you can break down the complete CSS file into. Okay, so let me just go back, and this is how simple our HTML files look like in a general web page we are rendering to. So you have to see that the amount of work we are doing over here is only because of it's why it's already there. So Bootstrap is a framework as well. So what I have used in this particular thing is React. I have used React. I have used Vanilla JS. I have used Node. I have used multiple things to create this, and I will show you at the end of this like this bootcamp that how this complete thing is working and how we can come together and we can create this. Okay, so this is something which is one of my, like, any index file you go to. See, this is a see, this is also a pre-formatted, a pre-made, a boilerplated HTML file. What I have done is I have only linked my JS and only linked my CSS file to these particular things. The only difference is that I am linking it through my HTML, nothing else. All my CSS are in different folders, as you can see, as it is opening these different folders and accessing these different folders so that it can use the implemented following files. Okay, so I'll keep it running, and I'll keep it in few days it's gonna be there. Till then, let's come to our basic code. So अरे भाई, so let's come to a basic code, and what were we learning? We were learning CSS. Okay, so you can have an external style sheet. Okay, how is the CSS syntax? Okay, so a CSS rule set consists of a selector and a declaration block. So what is a selector? Selector is something which selects. Okay, H1, you are selected and you would be painted. So for example, if I have to paint that wall, I need to select that wall first, right? I need to select that wall, and I need to be, okay, I have selected this specific wall, and then I am going to paint that wall. Then after that, the property to the value. What property? If I need to change the color of the wall, I would say that this is a declaration where I am changing the, let me just use a pointer. This is a selector. After that, this declaration, what is happening? This is the property. This is the value. Okay. Then after that, there is one more declaration for the font size. If you can see, there are multiple declarations over here. For font size, we are doing 12 pixels. So this moves with pixel. And if you remember what was in HTML, we were also able to change that as font size. How were we doing that? We were giving the percent to the same, right? So we were giving that percent sign to the same. Now the second thing is the selector points to the HTML element you want to style, right? Declaration box contain one or more declarations specified by semicolons. Each declaration includes the CSS property name value separated by colon. Multiple CSS is separated with semicolons. Okay. P. is the selector in the CSS. For example, if I need to change it for a paragraph, color is a property, text align is a property. These are properties. These are changing the property of the complete thing. So let me show you some code of CSS, how CSS would be working. Okay, so what do you, am I visible? Okay, so let me show you a very small code of CSS, and I guess we have to wrap it up today, and because it's a bit late. Okay, so over here, see what I am doing over here in this specific center. I have this specific class with me. Okay, so this is a CSS selector. So we generally have a selector in this particular thing, and let me show you. For example, let me give you a small example, not so big one, because that is an ID selector. Okay. So, for example, for a paragraph, if I'm selecting something, I am giving us, I am for a property, I am giving different values. As you can see that there is a property, this color is a property, and this is a value. This text align is a property. This is the value. Value is something which is variable. Property is also variable, but you are specifying that, right? You are specifying that this particular thing would be changing. This particular thing would be changing. This particular thing can change. For example, can I do the same for H1? Do you think can I do the same for H1? Yes, I can do the same for H1. I am using this particular. I am making a declaration for what I need to color and what property and value I need to change, and then all I need to do is specify that this color is getting changed into this. So text align is a property which has a value of center. So I think I have done CSS till here today. It's 9:43 already. So tomorrow be ready for a bit long class. So let me do the class from 8 itself. 8 is fine with you guys. So let's do the class from 8 p.m. and the class will be elongated around 1.5 to 2 hours. So just make sure, because I'm going to complete every part and every notch for it. I have told you now it follows on in the same way, but tomorrow would be an important day. So I must tell you that you should come tomorrow. So bye for now. You have already one homework for me for you have to do, and that is to create a list and send it to me. And after tomorrow we are going to have a small test for you, and let's check that you know HTML and CSS. Bye guys. Bye bye. See you. Somebody say bye and I'll be boom. Nowhere to be seen. Waiting like someone to say bye. Bye Prakarsh. Have a good one. Thank you. Thank you so much. Emotional goodbye. See you guys. See you tomorrow. I just forgot to click end broadcast.